Bruchim haboim. Welcome everyone. We're about to begin Be'ezras Hashem together on Daf Nun Beis Amud Aleph, the second line from the top. The Gemara had just discussed the machloikis on Kiddush Hayoim, Leil Shabbos or Leil Yom Tif, in the order. Do you make the Kiddush Hayom and then the bracha on the Yayin, or vice versa? Beis Shammai says you first make a bracha on the Yom first and then the bracha on the Yayin. Says the Gemara to challenge, V'savrei Beis Shammai, the Birkas Hayoim Adifa. Is indeed so that Beis Shammai holds that the bracha on the Yom takes precedence. V'hatanyo, behold, it says in the Brisa as follows, Hanichnas lebeisoi b'motzei Shabbos, in regards to Havdalah, on Motzei Shabbos, Mevarech al Hayayin, v'al Hamaor, v'al HaBesomim, v'achar oimer Havdalah. You make the following order: a bracha on the Yayin, on the Or, on the Besomim, and then Havdalah. V'im ein loy ela kois echad, manicho la'achar hamozon u'mishalshelin kulon la'acharov. If you only have one kos, then you first make a bracha on the mozon, and then the rest of Havdalah then follows the Birkas HaMozon. V'ho asked the Gemara, Mimai the Beis Shammai. Why are you suggesting that this is Beis Shammai, this Brisa? Dilma Beis Hillel, maybe it's Beis Hillel. And that's why, indeed, it fits his opinion that says you first make a bracha on the Yayin, and only afterwards make a bracha on the Yom, on the Havdalah. Lo Salkedaita, says the Gemara, that can't be. Diktani, for it says in the Brisa, Me'or v'achar kach besomim. You first make a bracha on the Or, on the Eish, and then on the Besomim. Uman shamas lei the islei hai svora Beis Shammai. Who's the one who says this? That's Beis Shammai. The Tanya, like it says in the following Brisa, Rav Yehuda lo nechleku Beis Shammai Beis Hillel al hamozon shebitchila v'al havdalah shehi basoif. Al man nechleku. What is Beis Shammai Beis Hillel arguing? Al hamaor v'al besomim. Beis Shammai omim maor v'achar kach besomim. In that order, first the Eish and then the besomim, like it says in this Brisa. Ubeis Hillel omim besomim v'achar kach maor. You first make a bracha on this besomim and then on the Eish. Ask the Gemara, Mamai de Beis Shammai. But still, who says that this is Beis Shammai v'alibud Rabbi Yehuda? Dilma Beis Hillel hi. Rabbi Meir. Maybe it's Beis Hillel, according to Rabbi Meir, who's the author of our Mishnah. Says the Gemara, that can't be. Lo salkedaitoch diktani hocha b'masnisan. Because our Mishnah, who's the author of Rabbi Meir, says the following: Beis Shammai oimim ner u'mozoin besomim vehavdola. Ubeis Hillel oimim ner u'besomim mozon vehavdola. Now in our Mishnah, both Beis Hillel and Beis Shammai, the way it's quoted here, again, authored by Rabbi Meir, they both say that the mazon is in the middle. Either Beis Shammai says it's ner and then mazon, or Beis Hillel says first it's ner, besamim, and then mazon, but the mazon is in the middle. But V'has B'Braisa that we quoted before on the top of the Amud, Ketani, it teaches, Im ein loy ela kos acher. Echad, if you only have one kos, then manichoy la'achar hamazon, leave the kos until after Birkas HaMozon. First make Birkas HaMozon, meaning Umeshalshin kulon la'acharov, and then make all of the other brachos after making Birkas HaMozon first. Shma minad Beis Shammai v'alibud Rabbi Yehuda. So we can conclude that indeed this Brisa that we quoted again on the top of the Amud is authored by indeed Beis Shammai, according to the opinion of the Rabbi Yehuda. Umikol mokom kasha. Nonetheless, we have a kasha. Therefore, we go back to the question that we originally asked. How could it be that Beis Shammai he takes precedence of the Birkas HaYom over the Birkas HaYayin? You first make a bracha on the Yom and then the Yayin. How could that be? That is not consistent with our Brisa that says you first make a bracha on the Yayin and then you make a bracha on the Havdalah. Answers the Gemara, Kasavri Beis Shammai, Shiny Yuli Yoima me'apuke yoima. It's different when the day comes in than when the day goes out. That means it's different when it comes to making Kiddush, then making Havdalah. When making Kiddush, then you make a bracha on the Yom first, and then a bracha on the Geffen, on the Yayin. When it comes to Havdalah, you first make a bracha on the Yayin, and then make a bracha on the Yom. As the Gemara explains, Iyuli Yoima, when the day comes in, Kama de Makadminon le Adif, Apuke Yoima Kama de Machrinon le Adif. When the day comes in and you're making Kiddush, the more you're able to then bring it earlier, that takes precedence, and therefore you make bracha on the Yom and then on the Yayin. Whereas on Havdalah, you want to push the Havdalah off as much as possible, and therefore the Yayin takes precedence before the bracha on the Yom. Ki hechidil lahavi alon kemasu. We don't want to make Shabbos appear to be as a burden, and therefore we prefer to push off and make Havdalah a drop later, and take out Shabbos a little bit later, and therefore, according to Beis Shammai rather, that therefore you'll make the bracha on the Yayin and then the bracha on the Yom. Ask the Gemara, V'sami Beis Shammai birkas hamozon tuna kois. According to this brisa, we said in the second part of the brisa, if a person only has one kois, what should he do? He should first make birkas hamozon on the kois, and then make the other brachos. That implies that Beis Shammai holds that a person is required to make birkas hamozon on the kois. V'ho asked the Gemara Tanan, it says in our Mishnah, Bolahem yayin la'achar hamozon. If wine comes after the eating of the meal, they cleared up the meal, they took away the bread, and then they bring out wine. Im ein sham ella oisa kois, if there's only that one kois, Beis Shammai omi mevarich al hayayin v'achar mevarich al hamozon. Beis Shammai says you first make a bracha on the yayin, and then afterward make birkas hamozon, which implies that he does not require birkas hamozon to be on the kois. My love, the mevarich ilave v'shosile, isn't talking about you make a bracha on the yayin and you drink it, and then afterwards make birkas hamozon, which implies that you don't make birkas hamozon on the kois. Lo, says the Gemara, the mevarich ilave, you make a bracha on it, umanachle, and you leave the yayin, you don't drink it. Ask the Gemara, v'ha'amar mar, but Mar taught us, hamevarich tzar sheyitoim. If a person makes birkas hanehenin, he must then eat or drink from that which he's making a bracha on. Answers the Gemara, d'toyim lei, that he does taste the yayin. I asked the Gemara, v'ha'amar mar, tamoy, pogmoy, if he tastes the wine, then he's poigim the kois. That means that he makes the kois posel for all of the brachos that he's going to make it for. In this case, the birkas hamozon on the kois will now be invalidated. Answers the Gemara, d'toim le biyadei. He tastes a little of the yayin that goes on his hand, and therefore he's not poigim the kois. I asked the Gemara, v'omar mar, kois shel bracha tzarich shiur. A kois requires a shear of a revis, and he's going to then take some of that yayin of the revis out and put on his hand, so that he he's toying from that yad, then he's going to be less than a shear of a revis. V'hakapachis le mishiure. Answers the Gemara, the nafish le tfei mishiure. He has more than the shear of the revis, and therefore have a full revis when he makes the birkas hamozon on the kois. Ask the Gemara, but still, v'ha'im ein sham ella oisoi kois ketani. It says that he only has that kois, which implies a kois of a revis. Answers the Gemara, no, it means to say trei loihav. He doesn't have more than one revis. Umachad nafish, but however, he has more than one revis in that kois. V'hotani Rabbi Chia Beis Shammai omer varich al hayayin v'shosehu v'achar kach mevarich birkas hamozon. But Rabbi Chia taught that it says explicitly that Beis Shammai says he makes a bracha first on the yayin and he drinks, and then he makes birkas hamozon. So you see that Beis Shammai does not require birkas hamozon on the kois. Answers the Gemara, Elatrei Tanoi Valiba de Beis Shammai. There are two different Tanoim according to the opinion of Beis Shammai. According to Rabbi Chia, indeed, Beis Shammai does not require birkas hamozon on the kois. But according to the other Tana, he does require birkas hamozon on the kois. The Gemara now gets into the next machlokes in our Mishnah in regards to a person making netilas yadayim. Does he do so before the Kiddush and then make kiddush, and then without interrupting, drink from the kiddush and make hamoitzi? Or does he first make kiddush, then make netilas yadayim, and then make hamoitzi? So machlokes, Beis Shammai is the opinion that he first washes his hands and then makes the kiddush. Says the Gemara, Tanu Rabbanon, Beis Shammai oimim noitlin liyadayim v'achar kach moizgin es hakois. Beis Shammai is the opinion that you first wash your hands and then you're moizgin es hakois. Now I want to give a hakdama, an introduction to understanding this piece of Gemara, because when it comes to netilas yadayim, in general, a person's hands is considered to be yadayim askonios, and therefore the chachamim were geyser on yadayim, stam yadayim, to be shnios letuma. Now there are different levels of tuma. The highest level of tuma is avi avos hatuma, which is if a person who has contact, or a keli that has contact with a mace. Then he has direct contact with that mace, he's called then being affected, and thereby he has then the avi avos hatuma of the one who touches the mace. It becomes an av hatuma. When that av hatuma touches something else, he makes it a rishon letuma. Besides somebody who touches a mace, also a sheretz, or a nevela, a zov, and a mitzora also have the status of an av hatuma. When they touch something, they make it into a rishon letuma. The rishon letuma is not metama, anything other than food and drink, oichlim umashkim, and they make the oichlim umashkim into sheni letuma. The tuma of the sheni letuma is not metama, anything other than truma and kodesh. So now going back to the stam yadayim. The stam yadayim, we said the chacham were geyser on stam yadayim shniyos letuma. Now we just said a moment ago that shniyos letuma are only affecting truma and kodesh to make them into shlishi, but nothing else. However, the chachamim said that since those who eat truma have to wash their hands, they're stam yadayim, because that's going to make the truma nifsal, and you have to burn the truma. Therefore, they said that in order, what's called srach truma, in order to get everybody accustomed to then, including all of those kohanim and those who are oichle the truma, to the one wash their hands before partaking in truma, they require that everybody, before even a meal of bread, of chulin, must wash their hands in netilas yadayim. Another takana v'chachamim made, another gzeir was, when it comes to dibule mashke, if there is a vegetable or a fruit that has water on it, or oil, or honey, or other such things, so then that also requires a person to wash their hands. And the chachamim were geyser that these mashkim, these tibul mashkim, anybody who touches that becomes a rishon letuma. Now, although we said before rishon letuma is only affecting the oichlin mashkim, here also affect kalim as well. With that hagdam, we can now understand our Gemara. So again, Tonu Rabbanan, Beis Shammai oimrim. Beis Shammai says, noitlin lo yadayim ve'achar moizgin es hakois. You first wash your hands, and then afterwards, then you make kiddush. She'im ata oimer moizgin es hakois techila, because if you first made kiddush and only afterwards washed netilas yadayim, gzeira shema yitamu mashkin she'acharei hakois machmas yodov v'yachzu v'yitamu es hakois. Perhaps the mashkin that would come outside of the kois would then hit the outside of the cup. That would then go ahead and touch the yadayim, which are shniyos letuma, and then that would then cause the mashkim to then become a rishon to the tuma, and then metame the kois, the outside of the kois. Letame yadayim lekois. Ask the Gemara, So just say that the yadayim alone will metame the kos. If the yadayim are already tameh because they haven't been washed, that by them touching the kos, that itself will metame the kos. Answers the Gemara, yadayim shniyos hein. They are only shniyos. Ve'ein sheni oise shlishi bechulin, and sheni does not affect anything else bechulin unless it is truma or kodesh. Elaydei mashkin, only through mashkin, and therefore we have to introduce that maybe the mashkin will then come outside of the kois, and then they will be touching the yadayim, which will then in fact metame the kois. That's the shita of Beis Shammai, and therefore you have to wash netilas yadayim before making kiddush on the kois. Ubeis Hillel moizginas hakois. You first then make kiddush, v'achar kach noitin liyadayim, and afterwards wash netilas yadayim for the bread, which is required for yadayim shniyos al srach truma, like we said. Shimata oimer noitin liyadayim tchila, because if you would wash your hands first before making kiddush, gzeir shem yitamu mashkin shebiyadayim machmas hakois v'yachsu v'yitamu hayadayim. Perhaps the mashkim, that after washing your hand there might be droplets that are still on your hand that haven't been completely dried off, they will be metame the kois, which indeed will come back and metame the yadayim. V'nitmu kois liyadayim, ask the Gemara, let the kois become tame from the yadayim alone. Ein kli metame, or rather, let the kois metame the yadayim alone. Says the Gemara, ein kli metame adam. A kli cannot make metame a person. So let's say that it's metame the mashkin that is being held by the kois. All of the grape juice or wine that is inside the kois should become tameh. Answers the Gemara, Hacha bekli shenitamu acharov b'mashkin askinon. We're dealing with tuma that is on the outside of the kois. The toichoy tov v'gaboy tameh. Thereby, the inside, the contents of the kois still remain tahor, and it's only that which is outside, the outside of the cup, which is tameh. This is not like it says in the Mishnah. Kli shenitmu'u achara v'mashkin. If a kli becomes tameh on the outside because of mashkin, acharav tmeim, the outside of the kos is tameh, but toichoy, the contents, the ogno, and the lips of the kli, the top of the kli, the oznoi, and the handle, the yadav, and the longer handle are taharin of the kli. Nitma toichoy, nitma kul. However, if the inside becomes tameh, the contents that's within the kli become tameh, then the entire kli will become tameh as well. Ask the Gemara, okay, b'mai kamifli, what is the machlokis between Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel? What is the sharish hadovar here? Beis Shammai savrei osur lihishtamesh bekli shenitmu achoro b'mashkin gzeir mishum nitzoitzois. Beis Shammai says it's osur to use a kli that is tameh from the outside, because what? Maybe there'll be nitzoitzois. Maybe there'll be some splashing, some spritzing of the contents of the kli that are going to then touch the outside of the kli. Ubeis Hillel savrei muter lishtamish bekli shenitamu achar b'mashkin. But Beis Hillel says there's no problem to use a kli that might be tamei on the outside. Amrei nitzotz lo shchichi, because nitzotz is for us to be concerned that it's going to spritz from the inside and get on the outside of the cup is not shchiach, is not common. We're not concerned about that. The ikala meichash, however, there is to be concerned, says Beis Hillel, shema yitmu b'mashkin shebiyadayim machmas hakois. But maybe if the hands are not washed properly, they're not dried properly after washing, there might still be droplets left on the hands, and they will then come to be tameh through the kos, as we explained above. Dover acher teikef l'netilas yadayim seuda. Another reason Beis Hillel says is because immediately after washing one's hands, one has to then eat and not make an interruption in between. This in addition to the three other teikefs that we saw in the fourth parak, when the Gemara said on Daf Mem Beis Amud Aleph that there's teikef smicha l'shchita, teikef geula l'tefila, and teikef netilas yadayim lebracha, it says over here also takef netilas yadayim l'seuda. Ask the Gemara, my davar acher. Why did Beis Hillel have to add a davar acher, an additional reason why for his opinion, why you have to wash only after making kiddush before the hamoitzi? Hochika amar lu Beis Hillel Beis Shammai, because this is what Beis Hillel was saying to Beis Shammai. L'didchu de amrisu also lishtamesh beklisha acharov tmein the gazrina mishum nitzoitzos. According to you, who is concerned about nitzoitzos, afilu hachi, still ha'adifa. Still, there's a reason to first make kiddush and then wash your hands. Why? Because the taken netilas yadayim seuda. Because immediately after washing one's hands, a person must then make a suda without interrupting in between.